So I've roasted the Blu-ray, and I went into a bit of the putting on the THX AC-3 Twister theatrical mix. Oh, the surrounds in the bass, they really get aggressive on these JBL. Low end picks up a bit more aggressive when they come out the barn, when that beast is right on top of them. Well, it is already. They kick the door, boom, boom, center stage, and the door opens. Oh my God! Run! Damn, that's aggressive. Whoa! Sense that. Wow, you sense that like sensor around. Whoa. Whoa, that's got some there in the mix. Bit more specific tuning. Do a bit more specific tuning and a bit more specific speaker placement just for the surround channel alone. That's got, oh, I can almost feel that on my tummy. Ooh. And that's kind of like an overhead effect if you had. So if you had specifically just that oof, or whatever part of that element of the track is, yeah, and just have that partly on screen, coming on screen, and then panning away off screen into overhead. As well as you've got to have a lot of blow surround. You've got to have blow surround, otherwise what's the point, you know? Because there'd be a lot of blow surround here. Random, obviously. Like I say, you've got to have a special beast home cinema. And, you know, I've got it all up in my head, got it all designed, you know. There's only so many things you can do with a matrix decoder. There's only so much you can get away with, you know. If it was all discrete, then yeah, great. But if a matrix can make it work a bit, then can't knock it. I know what to listen for. I know what crosstalk errors it's going to have, and you know, if it's all playing all at the same time, no one would notice. No one would be the wiser and would notice, including myself. Wow. So the way this is using it through the Dolby SA10 is the surrounds down there, and on the back wall as well. They're all playing the same stereo signal. So it's playing left half, right half, as it would have been in a cinema at the time. I mean, I can still talk I can still talk over it, so to speak. So um, if it was the real thing, the only thing happening there would be um, hearing sound conversation or such, because I can measure the sound pressure level on this. I could put the frequency RTI on it, and the only difference missing, the only other element is the actual wind blowing in your ear, and that would create a psychoacoustic audio frequency masking effect, so to speak, because this, you got the other sound around, and you've got wind going. You know, if you can angle yourself around that way, where the wind's going, suddenly, but soon, eventually, that wind's going to change its shiftal position, come back round, and go and blowing down your ear again. So you hear this flapping sound of pressure of wind going down your ear canal, and that will create audio masking. But I can still talk over that, so it kind of sounds natural, kind of acoustically. Just need a lot of need a wind machine. That's what I need. It's got to be something programmable. So you've got a wind machine that will be fitted on the side walls, the ceiling, and the floor, because you've got to create that sort of simulated, pressure of wind, like, because particularly when it's dusty or such, where it's, you get a windy storm during maybe a summertime. Winter, you don't see a lot of dust around, unless there's been a very dry winter, of course. And you usually see that getting picked up, and you can see it moving around. So you need to have, I've seen some cinemas where they're kind of gimmicky, D box seating or whatever, and they got typical fans fitted on the walls, and that's the only thing I can see. I can't see anything else unless they are hidden in falsely placed underneath the seating or such, where you would get because you've got to have a from above and below, and you got particularly the ones from above. They got to have a different timing and acceleration to get a bit of because and the only other problem there is the motor mechanism. They're going to be audible, but you got a film soundtrack playing over it a little bit more louder, because you're going to have to kind of create a masking effect so you don't notice these fans. You notice, oh wow, this wind, and it's simulating it, so to speak, kind of simulating it. I think it's taken movies and that such a little bit too literal, with next, I suppose, falling objects, when things start dropping out the sky with tractors and stuff, as something dropped down from the ceiling. Oh dear. But, that's the way I think with but you go into these laboratories and that, and they got a laboratory is just a word. This room could be a laboratory. I could use this an experiment. That's all it is. Experimenting. That's why they say, oh, this loudspeaker was built in a garage, and then it was so good in design and that and everything else, and then it just went mainstream, and Bush, the guy made a lot of money, and he's still doing pretty good business, and he all started by building in the garage or in his living room or whatever. I like those lion roars they put in it, these lion roars. Sounds like a bit of, I don't know, Stephen Flick or John Postle or any one of those sound editors or such. It sounds... Oh, I can hear my cat feeder feeding my kitty cats. Bit biscuits. It sounds like a lion roar, kind of maybe Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think they might have used the lion roar. Maybe Poltergeist, where you see that creature thing at the near the end of the movie, and it's got a bit of a lion roar in the sound of it. Yeah, I can hear it there. So you got a lot of that storm. You can imagine it like lions and morphing coming out of it, out of all that, you know, and then lion heads coming out and then roaring. Pretty scary, huh? Yeah. Need, like I say, you need what need is something like a 15 screen channel. So you got 5 screen, 5 up, that 5 across the top, 5 down the typical middle, and then 5 down there, and then sound then can go that direction. You can pan it that direction, or up, round, or whatever, and do other phase shifting and such. And it's got to be pretty large, you know, because how long's a piece of string? It's got to be fairly large to be not too noticeable, because in real life sometimes everything is kind of difficult to notice, and you only might pick out a few things, and you only hear it once. There's no remote. Oh, let's play that again. Unless you record it and then have your camera in this position, not the vertical, because you're only recording mono sound then, and then capture that sound, and that's all you got then. And you can probably then listen in and think, yeah, I can hear that little bit, it's in there, that hidden amongst all the rest of this other noise, sound, frequency masking. It's just like being on the CB radio and you hear voices in the faint background overlapping, other people overlapping on top, and you got all the signal noise as well, and yeah, it's just like that. It's layers and layers and layers and layers of tracks. You want some way to play that, so sometimes noticeable easy sounds can be heard, you know, and then when you got everything all playing, it fills the screen. But then real life sound really does fill the area. There are no gaps usually. There are no gaps, whereas with speakers and mixing and what so forth and that, there are gaps. But you could still put matrix decoders between all of it to, you know, so any sound pan that moves over there, it will go into another speaker, so it minimises then the gaps, so to speak. But like I say, you can't have something like this coming up close and then making a sound like that, and then moving away, and then coming back. You know, it's the same. It's the same. And then just can't get that effect with speakers. Just can't do it. It's impossible. Not unless you start putting speakers nearby the seating, and then it just becomes then intimidating. That you think, you know. It's just one of those things that's just totally not possible to do. And sound moves at fast speed, and you can't have speakers moving around at fast speed, because they wouldn't be able to slow down in time, otherwise they'll hit you. The audience is being pelted by loudspeakers. Oh. What's the bear up to? What are you up to, Mr. Bear? Meow. Meow. It's not too loud, is it? Ah, blimey. It's not doing much on this dial is a bit wonky. Yeah, it's not that loud. It can be, but I'm not interested in going for SPL level, you know. And you know, what's the actual SPL level of a tornado? I mean, an average, depending on what distance away you're from it. What's the average? And getting a good, get a good recording of one, an actual recording with microphone, multi-microphone, so you capture it in multi stereo or such. Depending whether those microphones don't get ripped up and go up with it, along with the cable and then the audio mixer and the mixing guy. You know, you got to put something, you know, so you can capture the sound, because no one in their right mind is going to get too damn close to one of those things unless they're feeling rather depressed and suicidal. So if you had like a tower rigged up but you can't say, hey, tornado, come over this way, you know, they're unpredictable. They move at their own accordance. But if you could have towers rigged up and then have microphones, so if it were to come in the path, you can get sound recording from ground level with microphones going up high, and all multi-recording, all independent, so you could capture the sound of what it sounds like with you know, hopefully with the levels, so they don't distort or anything, so the recording is captured and it doesn't distort, because microphones can only record so much. Otherwise, you know, sound is fabricated, it can only go so loud. Our hearing has got a tolerance of pain, and then it can't go any more than that, otherwise we would end up doing damage to our own hearing, just as you would damage your eyes by looking at the sun without using a sun filter. You would blind yourself in just a couple of seconds. So you got to capture something, an approximate, you know, because most storms, you know, you hear on YouTube and that, and you hear you're like, oh gosh, and you can see how damn violent it is, where suddenly, oh look, there goes the tree. Yeah, and that tree was rooted very well into the ground, and it took something near to 200 miles an hour just to rip it out the ground. They're beasts, these things, they're beasts. So maybe I'll probably, I don't know, I might experiment over the next few weeks or such, maybe play Twister again. But I'm not playing that Blu-ray again, absolutely not. Maybe the DVD, but the AC-3 laserdisc. Uh-oh, there's that name that nobody likes. Kathleen Kennedy, the destroyer of Star Wars. She's destroyed 1,000 solar systems. And what was this other thing recently I've been reading? That sacrificial lamb is back. Bob Iger. Oh my goodness gracious! I thought he retired as a vice president, and now he's back because someone else is not doing it very well and dragging it down. But I think there's something a little bit more than that. I don't really care because I don't buy Disney products anymore. They had their shot, they had their chance with Star Wars, and they blew it. And I don't care for anything more with Star Wars. Really don't care for it. Look at the damage that fictitious tornado done. You know, at the end. You know, look at the flipping width. You know, that's probably over 1,000 feet or something. Maybe, I don't know. Well, let's just use 1,000 for argument's sake. Yeah, it's probably from over there right over to there. It's probably about 1,000 foot, maybe a little bit under. Yeah, left its mark. Fictitious, fictional. I like the use of the what do you call it? High-speed photography and high-speed time lapsing, where everything's like recorded, and you know everything's then played back, and you get this nice with the clouds moving like smoke coming out of a chimney really fast. Whereas you see it on a normal day. You don't see it moving that fast because it's so slow. But when it's, you know, filmed and then played back, yeah, wow, it's got a nice. Got to appreciate the simplicity of the storm and the respect it, respect the wind, respect it, because if you don't, it won't have any respect. It won't have any remorse or feelings. It will, you know, you can either harness its energy or get out of the way of it. And you can only harness so much of it for a little while. You know, you can harness, you know, wind and, you know, for wind power and such. We all know that. I like the camera going through the whether it's helicopter or aeroplane. It's probably a helicopter. And of course on the end credit it looks a little bit flickery, you know, because of the resolution. But here's the thing I've just noticed visually, because I can see some of this like flickering and such, you know, the text, right? I'll just play back some of it. If I just squint my eyes, just a little bit on that text, white text light frequency, I minimize some of that flicker effect, so it's in my mind, or at least how it's translating the frequency. Probably needs like a better upscaler or something, so it minimizes a flicker effect, because it's got a flicker effect. There's only so much that Denon can do. It's a load of rubbish, really. All these AVRs, everything should be standardized, so, you know, they all use the same, you know, that, you know, gets around all this issues. And do they test these on VHS, laserdisc, all the other past media formats? So, you know, this thing can really do it, so to speak, you know. Otherwise, you just don't see it on film itself when it's projected. You don't see these artifacts. You get you do get an artifact with film, but not as bad as that. And that's only because it's video. But yeah, if I just squint my eyes just a little bit, it looks okay. And that didn't cost me anything. I just squinted my eyes slightly. It's like those images. Come away from there, bear. It's like those images that you see that are very small, and you play this pixel game, and images that are so tiny, And you think, what the, I can hardly make that out. All I can see is a colour. But if you start squinting your eyes, yeah, zoom it in a little bit, zoom it up a little bit, and you can only get so much, and then it still looks a bit, not too sure. But then you start squinting your eyes, or you stand away from it, you move back a little bit, yeah, and then you could just start, oh, right, I know what that is now, I can make it out now. But sometimes by squinting your eyes you can just do it that way, but you're going to put strain on your eyes, and then you know, that's not good. Then you need subscribing. Yeah, it's just this. It's kind of a flicker that's kind of that looks diagonal. But if I squint, if I just squint, it'll just. I wonder if I change the brightness on the TV, the contrast level. I wonder if that does anything. I guess it might. But then it's going to make overall the rest of it pretty dark. And I can also see the other effect with the titles. You see like a shadow effect horizontal. You can see a shadow effect horizontal, which you wouldn't see on film, even though this is film. But this is film to video. But still, it's watchable. It's watchable. You can see, you can go out there and look at a lot more worse things. You can't even make it out. You know, pirate versions and that. This is not a pirate version. This is proper, but it's got a theatrical mix on it. You know, it's got a theatrical mix at the end of the day, and that wins. You know, what's the point of putting a home cinema together if you're going to play these small disc formats and it's just a near field mix? It's mixed for a bloody soundbar. It's a bloody insult. You know, if I played the actual output levels, literally on the digital, through the speakers on this OLED, they'll just get damaged, literally. But they wouldn't, because I wouldn't turn it up any more because I'll back off, because I know it can't handle it. These TVs and that, they're only good for hearing sound. They're not good for listening to textures, and fake dynamic ranges and such. They're just not capable. I like the way it goes. Let me just listen there right toward the end, because I'm pretty sure on the Blu-ray it kind of sounded like it abruptly ended too quick. And I wasn't really looking at the end credits at the time. When it got right down near to the end there, I was looking away from the screen and just put the screen channel on. And I was thinking, suddenly it just seemed to kind of fade out quickly in the, did it have the ambling on the end of it? Did it have the ambling? Yeah. And did it have the Warner? Did it have the Warner on there? Because the distributors were like, in the UK it was distributed under Universal. Oh no, it didn't have. Hang on, right, go back. Yeah, I can hear it just fading out, the guitar. You know, the right at the very end going and fading out. But it seemed a bit abrupt on the Blu-ray. And then that cuts straight into the trailer, doesn't it? Cuts straight into the trailer. I think they should have left it here on this. I think they should have left about a few more seconds. Pause. don't think there's a. Yeah, they should have put like something like a signal on it, so it pause the maybe the disc for and then you press to resume, because it's a little bit cut too tight to the right at the end. It's only a couple of how many frames? Well, of course, got the frame count up there. It's only talking about a second or so.
Elusive, unpredictable, violent.
Let's go to the Matrix.
Elusive, unpredictable, 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 violent.
There was this video I came over on YouTube where they do voiceovers, got people that do voiceovers. Violent. See it at the cinema this June. And there's this guy, he's British, and he does voiceovers been doing them for decades. I'm not sure if he did Twisted, but his voice does sound familiar to this guy that does voiceovers. Jurassic Park, Lost World, I think it is. He did one on Men in Black. I'm just thinking of some of his resume. But it sounds like the same guy.
It terrifies most scientists. But for a new breed, the challenge is saving lives. The research is deadly, and the laboratory is nature itself.
And potentially
is nature itself.
I just can't get over how pretty dynamic that sounds in Dolby Stereo 44 on the trailer. The thunder and the...
could be a storm that has a wind in excess of
Wow. Wow. It's with movies like this. It's like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, not Diet Pepsi or Diet Coke. I don't mind Diet Pepsi. I really don't mind it. Bit less sugar, yeah. But this is like Twister on raw Coca-Cola, with all that fizz, all that dynamic fizz. Otherwise, you water it down, which is a near field next. It's like it's a little bit more than just a diet. It's like they've added a bit of like they've added a pint of bloody water to the damn thing, and it's just like, what the hell have they done to this? I like these graphics, these title graphics, the way they do these. Yeah, let's all play Twister. Sure. Let's play Twister. Yeah, play Twister while watching Twister.